Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Just a quick video today really, just to satisfy my own curiosity. While I've got a car in stock, I have a bit of a theory. So I am looking at a 2014 Volkswagen Scirocco R, and I'm wondering if this, being, although slightly less power than a Golf R, front wheel drive, does that make it a more fun car to drive? As those of you who have seen my channel and have watched my video on the Golf R, I really like the car. I think it's incredible. I think it's an amazing machine. I find it just a bit bland to drive. It's not that exciting. It's almost too good at what it does, that it feels a bit soulless to me. I'm curious, with the Scirocco R being front wheel drive, does it feel a bit more lively, a bit more fun, a bit more in the class of things like an Astra GTC VXR, for example? They're both sort of 280 horsepower, both front wheel drive. Just interesting to see. So I'm going to take it out for a drive and see how it goes. But I thought while we're here, let's have a quick look around the car. And it's a very good looking car, isn't it? I think, objectively, I think it looks better than the Golf, that's for sure. But whether that means I'd own one over the Golf, I don't know. Do I prefer the looks of this to the Golf? I don't know. Isn't it a strange one? I think it looks prettier. I think it looks more aggressive. It's got more interesting styling and these sort of shoulders on the arches and things that make it really interesting. But I'm not sure styling wise I would necessarily choose this over a Golf, because I do love the classic hatch look. It comes with the same 19-inch diamond cut alloy wheels that we're used to seeing with the Golf R. This one's in a really nice grey colour. Nice twin exit exhaust. They also come with these sort of brushed aluminium look wing mirror caps, and the R badges. These are the sort of things that denote that it is an R, including the diamond cut alloy wheels, as we said. It's got front and back parking sensors, but this, unlike the majority of the Golfs, at least that I see, and I don't know if it is a standard feature on the Golf R, does not seem to have the lane assist and adaptive cruise control sensor in the front there. We have got what seems to be a pretty old school style Volkswagen key now, doesn't it? I mean, that's something you'd expect on a 2004 car, not a 2014. So I do think the Scirocco is a very pretty car outside and inside. I like these sort of ribbed, I guess, seats. And so you've got two seats in the back as well. We've got their individual headrests. Looks nice and sporty. I like the design. And yeah, they do feel a bit more interesting inside for sure. Headroom's actually quite good. I'm just a smidge under 6 foot, but plenty of room for me, and I think this seat would go down a lot lower. So despite it looking lower to the ground and kind of shallower, I don't think you're losing out on a great deal of headspace. One thing which I think that makes the Scirocco just seem that much more fun inside, I don't know whether it's on all R lines and R models or if it comes on all Sciroccos. I honestly can't say that I know. But having your oil temperature gauge, your lap timer in the middle, and it's got a turbo boost gauge as well. This reminds me of when I had a sort of Clio Williams way back in the day. It wasn't actually a Williams, it was just the 1.8 16 valve. But still, I'll see if I can put a picture of something like that up here. They had these gauges inside, and it just made it feel that extra bit special. Someone has fitted aftermarket paddle extensions on this, and they are hideous. They are cheap plastic, and they're fitted with grub screws, which will have damaged the original paddles, which is a shame. And I also just think they look stupid. So I will be removing those for sure. We've got lots of good features in here though. We've got heated wing mirrors, electric windows, automatic lights, dual zone climate control, heated seats. It's of course the DSG automatic gearbox, which is very good. We've got the steering wheel controls, including controlling things like our navigation system in the middle, which is a good system, but quite a small screen. It is a nice, bright, crisp system. It's just not a very big screen compared to what you're used to these days. You know, that is quite small, isn't it? You may as well be using your phone, really. It's not much bigger, certainly some people's phones. Still nice to have, but it's strange, I think, in the Scirocco that they do have these much smaller screens than you would have in a Golf, for example. Your driving modes are controlled down here by the gear stick, and you have got mag ride suspension on this Scirocco. So you press the sport button if you want your fillings rattled out of your head. I haven't actually driven this car specifically, but I found with most Sciroccos that I drive that they are quite a firm drive, especially when you've got big wheels on them with skinny tyres. So they can be a bit harsh in that regard. I don't think you want to be using this as like something to soak up the bumps on a long journey. And I find that when you put them into sport mode, it's just exaggerated even more. But we will find out specifically with this one how it feels in comparison to a Golf, which in comfort mode is incredibly comfortable. You get a very small cubby under the armrest. You're not really getting a lot of stuff in there, so you've got a space for a few cards and maybe a phone that you'd then really struggle to get out because it's deeper than I can actually get my hand in. You get 2 cup holders in the middle here, a good location if you ask me, although we are missing our divider and the Volkswagen bottle opener, which comes on all these cars. The glove box does have a chiller vent as well, so if you want to keep drinks etc in the glove box cool, you can do that. The boot on these is actually deceptively huge. You've got loads of space in there. I don't think there's any less than the Golf whatsoever. The main difference is the entry angle. This has got a tiny little hatch and you have got a big drop immediately inside there, whereas a Golf you've got a much lower loading angle. Under the floor you have got a spare wheel though, and jack etc etc, which is all nice to see that it's still in this car. Now that's a nice clean engine bay. So everything looks pretty standard under here, which is good. Again, it's a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, so this one gives us 280 horsepower or 276 or whatever it is. I'm sure someone's going to jump on me and tell me I got it slightly wrong, but in that area. Whereas the Golf R, being 4-wheel drive, has 310-ish, again, something around that area. So I've got my cap on. I believe that's a legal requirement if you are driving a Volkswagen R product. And we are just kind of cruising through town before we can get to somewhere we can actually test out how this thing really drives. I'm in comfort mode and it's pretty civilized really. I do feel like this feels firmer than a Golf, and I think maybe what highlights that more is it just feels slightly more rattly and tinny in here. Everything is a bit more audible. You're hearing trims and things rattling a bit more than I think you would in a Golf. The Golf feels slightly better put together. I wouldn't call it an uncomfortable car, but if you are to compare this to the Golf, then this is definitely firmer, and I think the acoustics tend to exaggerate that fact and just make it feel even more firm. On the plus side with the acoustics, I do think you hear the exhaust note a bit more, and it kind of reverberates a bit more than it would do in the Golf as well. Right, let's put it in manual mode and see how it does on the old fun factor. Good Lord. It certainly feels quick, and surprisingly it puts the power down really well. I thought this being front wheel drive and it being pretty chilly out here, it would be kind of squirming and torque steering all over the place, but it feels pretty planted. It's actually quite impressive. Well, I was having too much fun around our battery there, guys. So I think in conclusion, is the Scirocco R more fun than a Golf R? I think yes, it is actually. So I would buy that instead of a Golf R then. No, probably not. As stupid as that may sound, I think the Golf R feels more capable, this feels more fun, and I think it's just not practical, so a Golf R Estate would be more practical. If anything, it makes me think that there's still a very prominent place for the Golf GTI. I think that, which I haven't driven, a modern Golf GTI, probably feels more fun than a Golf R. That's something I'm gonna have to try out now, isn't it? So in conclusion, yes, it's more fun for sure. Does that mean it's the car for you? I don't know, I can't decide. If you want something that's just fun and a hatchback, then quite possibly. But if you want something that feels more capable and slightly more practical, as less fun as that may be, then the Golf R probably still is the car for you. Anyway, very quick video. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Please do leave me a like and a comment, and I will see you in the next video.